My name is Valentin Bielski. I have traveled a long way from Kirovograd quarantine camp to my hometown of Bereski. On that journey I have witnessed how quickly the civilization we know can crumble and fall apart. It hasn't been more than 6 months, and I've already seen people killing each other for food, women selling their bodies for protection so they can stay safely in so-called refugee camps. I remember this one transmission on the radio where some guy was trying to warn us that we should be more afraid of fellow humans than the infected. He said that the monsters that rose from the graves were nothing compared to those that we carry in our hearts. Now I believe him. All the people are evil. Some of them maybe don't know that. Some haven't been pushed far enough to discover it. We are all evil. I'm evil. When the walls of the Kirovograd camp were falling, I had only one order: to shoot. I've shot at everything that was moving. At one point it was hard to tell the difference between infected and refugees, but that didn't stop me from pulling the trigger. And when I knew that the camp was going to fall, I ran. With the uniform stinking of shame, I've left everybody behind, even people I care about, people I've called friends. I honestly don't know how I made it that far. I thought I would be the first one to go, but now that my eyes can almost see the end of line, it's hard for me to make peace with that thought. A few days ago I've been severely bitten by an infected. I barely made it out alive. My wounds don't seem to heal. My veins are slowly becoming dark blue. My head is burning, but I'm cold at the same time. I can almost feel my heart pumping the infection into my body, condemning me to joining the endless ranks of infected. I feel a refreshing breeze grazing my face. I don't think it's a storm coming. It's death whispering my name.
Can you describe to me what you're feeling? Are you
Can I what?
fever, right? You didn't see quite well. You started coughing, right?
Well, at first it was goddamn cold. And my head started to burning quite. I don't know. But if I put the jacket again on, I'm gonna feel warmer. I don't know, man. My fucking head hurt. My fucking head hurts. My vision is blurry. It was before. It's hard to tell. It's hard to tell what the hell is going on. Look, I don't know.
I remembered someone was talking to me about a camp. He told me that in this camp you have everything you want. You are safe. You are in peace. There's no one that would come to you and annoy you. There won't be trouble. No, it won't be anything. Just happiness. Eternal happiness.
Well, that sounds good, or more likely like a fairy tale, doesn't it? What's is this place called somehow? The one you're talking about?
We all visit that place one day. We will all do. Cause it might be the only thing we have in common, everyone. The only thing that maybe define us as humans, as human beings, as people that live their lives, walk, run, shoot, eat, drink. The people that go through their children, put their hand on their hair, and tell them everything's gonna be alright. Because in the end it'll always be. That place will come for everyone.
Probably you're right.
But
I'm hoping to get there as far.
there
Oh jeez, my head hurts.
but there are people out there that try hard. They do. But they never get to that place. They keep running and running and running, thinking that everything will be goddamn alright when it won't. Telling to themselves it's gonna be okay. Someone will come and save you. I want you
What do we got?
to reach that camp now. Because I care about you. Because I do.
Alright. Goddamn it, here you are again with a gun in your hand. Jesus Christ.
Well, so are you.
I wanna delay that journey as long as I can. If I have a 100%, if I will be 100% sure that I got infected, I won't hesitate in taking my own life, or I don't know, taking chances right now. I don't think it's your decision to make, is it? And here we are in a small room, you with your goddamn, what the hell is that? Goddamn gun, and me with my good old Blackberry. I don't know how it turns out, man, but I don't wanna kill you. Just let me go. Let me go on my goddamn last pilgrimage.
So now, how will I meet you at the camp if I let you go? We'll never meet again. You'll be a lone survivor, in hopes of finding that camp, but you won't make it. We both know it.
Jesus, do you even know how long is it till the sunset?
I don't. I can guess.
Well, if we have to end this goddamn journey somewhere, let me just take you to one place and just wait for a goddamn sunrise. Can you do that for me?
Oh, here it is.
Where is my luck? That's goddamn amazing. Jesus Christ. I could almost forget about the whole goddamn thing. Almost forget it.
Told you it's gonna be worth it. God damn.
It's beautiful indeed. Come on. Let's get you up.
I don't think I...
Incredible view. Indeed. You know, I was
No.
talking about that camp. Never told you the name of it.
Yeah, you were. Well, I think we're at the end of our journey, so you can tell me how it's called.
You really want that?
Do I really want to what?
Or do you want me to tell you the name of the camp?
I think I know it already, don't I?
I think you do. It's
I
death.
just hope I'm heading there.
It's beautiful indeed. Too bad it had to run it like this. Should probably put an end to it. Another guy on the list. Things just happen so quickly. It's almost incredible how fast they go, what turns they take. But in the end, and I guess in the end, we will all visit that camp. It's time for you to do the same, Val. Sorry. Really am. I'm really sorry. One day we'll see each other again. siege at the camp I was talking to you about. The camp of death. We'll shake hands. We'll meet our both families. And we'll smile. We'll laugh together. Just like we used to. But this is why I told you I just can't go back in the past. It's because I'm no one. I don't have a family anymore. The friends that I got, I killed. Just for what? For more food, for better chances of survival. In the end.
Welcome back and thank you for staying tuned. Today we'll be hosting another part of our show called Geography and History Today. We'll speak with a leading expert on geography and history about a country called Chernarus. To help us learn more about this wonderful country, I would like to welcome our special guest, Dr. Madison Malvochek.
Hello, it's a pleasure to be here with you, Tom.
Welcome, Doctor. Let's get right down to business, shall we? Chernarus. Not only myself, but I wager some of our viewers don't really know where or what Chernarus is. I can only assume it's close to the other former Soviet countries. Could you tell us something more about the location and history of this country?
Well, of course, Tom. Chernarus lies by the Green Sea. Some might mistake it for an island, but I assure you that's not the case. It borders along two countries, Russia and Takistan. Its capital city is Novigrad in the southwest, which is one of the largest cities in Chernarus. Now, if we look deeper into the history of the region, Tom, the first settlements in the area date back to the 5th century BC, when the valleys of the Bernasia and Svetlaya rivers were inhabited by the Scyth tribes and the nomads. Those nomad tribes and clans went on to form the Takmir and the Karzag nations.
What about the impact of other countries on Chernarus? We have Russia on the northern side, which always was very eager to influence or conquer nearby lands.
Well, Tom, as we can see here on the map, the center of modern Chernarus was founded in the delta of the Bernaya River and on the coast divided from the Zagori region by the Black Mountain Ridge. The local Slavic population had to constantly fight off raiders from the southwest, so it was traditionally bound with Russia while still keeping its independence. The Zagori region itself was under the supremacy of the Moscow Principate, and still today most of the Russian citizens of Chernarus live in the South Zagori region. In the 12th century, Chernarus was controlled by dukes. In the 13th century, it was united by Taras Kozub. The Kozub dynasty ruled until 1631, when Chernarus joined the Russian Empire. Now, after the revolution in 1917, Chernarus became an autonomic federal republic. It wasn't until after the demise of the USSR in 1991 that the region finally gained true independence.
In countries that joined the European Union, we can clearly see diversity in nationalities and cultures. Since Chernarus was part of the Russian Empire and stayed under its heavy influence for so long, what can you tell us about its people?
Well, the people are interesting. The current population of Chernarus is a combination of Chernorussian and Russian peoples. The Russian populations are mostly condensed in the northeastern region of South Zagori in towns such as Krasnostav. We also have to remember that these two nationalities still share tensions, especially on the topic of politics. In times of war, civilians created insurgencies, most notably in the 2009 Chernarus conflict. The insurgent groups made attacks against the Chudakis and other Russian military groups, But that's a story for a whole nother episode, Tom, so I'm not quite sure we want to get too deep into that today.
Okay, Dr. Malvochek, let's take a look at the South Zagoria part of the Chernarus. You said that the Chernarus has a long, vibrant history. If we were to go there, let's say, for a vacation, are there any notable places worth visiting?
Oh, many places. Chernarus has numerous old castle ruins, keeps, fortresses. They were all built at the 11th and 12th century by Duke Kozlov. These structures were originally built for the purpose of protecting important roads and grounds. They were often attacked from the sea and by northern neighbors. The Pik Kozlova, above the city of Chernogorsk, is named after Duke Pik Kozlova. He's considered the founder of the first Chernarushan state. Now, on the peak above the city, there used to stand a warning post which protected the local provinces from pirate raids. This rocky peak is a favorite lookout point nowadays, and it's certainly one of the most interesting attractions there worth visiting. Sadly, the majority of the structures of that time were made of wood, so due to their fragile nature, only the ruins of Rog Keep and the famous Devil's Castle are preserved to this day. After the fall of Kozlov's Principate at the beginning of the 13th century, the fortress system fell apart. Fortresses that weren't burned down were taken apart stone by stone as needed for the structure of surrounding estates or for other construction purposes. Regardless, Devil's Castle is definitely a place worth visiting. It received its name many years later, perhaps sometimes during the end of the 13th century. Now, the former Kozlovo Castle, now called the Devil's Castle, was supposedly inhabited by the yeoman Jakub Sert from Gorka. His last name translates from Chernarushan to devil. His bandit campaign started here at that castle. He enlarged the keep of the castle using the loot from these raids he was going on, and the castle holds his name to this day. Now, according to legend, Devil's Castle was burned down during the Zagorian Karzeg's rebellion. Jakub Sert burned a portion of the castle's main tower after he refused to surrender to Ataman Sirmuk. Sadly, today only the burned walls remain. But the castle is said to be haunted as well to this day by the spirit of Ivan Kozlov. Whatever the truth is, Devil's Castle is one of the most remarkable architectural sites in Chernarus and has become a pretty rewarding destination for tourists. Now, it's also worth mentioning that one might find a few abandoned military installations, especially in the border mountains. Due to a lack of funds needed for security and maintenance, the condition of these bases has become even worse over the years, especially due to fights between the regular army and the rebels, who were using a number of those sites for their strongholds. Visiting the former military areas isn't forbidden, but due to the large numbers of unexploded ordnance as well as the decayed conditions of the buildings, it's not really recommended, and it is considered hazardous to visitors.
And how about people who prefer venturing through the wilds of nature more so than staying on the most often visited routes, or the beaten path, shall we say?
Well, despite the industrialization and the devastation of the coast, the northern province is proud of its untouched wild nature and the idyllic agricultural countryside, mostly because of the highland character of the northeastern part of the country. This was unsuitable for either industrial production or for collective agriculture. A large part of the northern area is covered by coniferous or mixed forests, known as black forests. Local legend even tells of a Sasquatch-type beast roaming the woods and the countryside. The unique moors on the table side of Desina, located on the south of Vybor, well, they're also worth mentioning too. In more academic and scientific circles, the area around the Blunt Rocks is considered very precious. The rock formations are glorious to witness, along with the remains of a glacial lake dating back to the Ice Age. Now, the southern part of the northern province suffered through thoughtless construction, so that the original coastal fauna and flora can only be found pretty sporadically, mostly alongside the mainland. The best known of these types of places is Skalisti Island, which during the start of the 90s was declared a nature preserve within the framework of the newly declared Zagori Protected Natural Area.
Thank you, Doctor. I'm sorry, we're receiving some breaking news from Chernarus. We'll get back to you. I apologize our viewers for this. I'm getting some new informations. Yes, we should be getting some video from the Chernarus, from our correspondent. Okay, we should be getting it. Well, no, we have some technical issues. We apologize for that. Stay tuned and please listen to this interview with a direct witness of Maschino riots.
Good evening, I'm Alenko Zdrodovic, and this is CNBC News, live from South Zagoria and Maschino, where details of the terror night are now gradually being put in place. Police officials are now saying the situation has passed and that civil order is restored, but it is unclear of how many that have been injured or even killed. CNBC managed to get in touch with Mr. Kalek, an elderly man living on the outskirts of Maschino. He offered to give us an eyewitness testimony to us on what transpired that night.
Oh yeah, I was there. I saw the whole thing from a distance. Was in the middle of the night, you see? Of course you don't see. It was a pitch black. So I was sleeping and I started here screaming and all of a sudden flashes so light and po, 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 po. I look out towards the village from my little house, which is a bit north of the main village. There you see. So I look up and see flashes and remote dots of what was a gunshots. Couldn't tell, but I heard the screaming. I could see people lurching around the village, banging and breaking down doors. Looked like a right mess, it did. Oh, one of the houses was on fire too. Damn it! I told myself, my weekend chess partner lives down there. I was about to go down and sort them out. You know, there was probably some damned youngsters acting like hooligans again. But then the police cars showed up. One of the officers told me to stay in my house, and so I did. I respect the law and all that. And then there was a lot of ruckus, and then it died down for a while.
Thank you, Mr. Kalek. That's quite a story.
I'm not finished. This is when I saw him. A few hours military trucks. Maybe 3 or 4 of them. They took something away from the village. I don't know what. They were driving south. I bet they took it to the place the military got down there. You know, the base they built. They're doing something with them there. Mark my word.
And that was Mr. Kalek, eyewitness to what is being called the Maschino riots. Various other witness testimonies seem to indicate that the police DID takes something from the village, but we are not sure what. A lot of questions remain unanswered on what happened here, or what even the casualty figures actually are, but initial reports indicate a list of dozens of wounded.
This was interview with Mr. Collins, the eyewitness of Maschino riots in Chernarus. We're still dealing with some minor technical issues. Please wait. No, I'm not getting any footage. It's just black and white picture. No, it's static. I'm getting nothing.
There's something happening here. What it is ain't exactly clear. There's a man with a gun over there, telling me I got to beware. I think it's time we stop. Children, what's that sound? Everybody look what's going down. There's battle lines being drawn. Nobody's right if everybody's wrong. Young people speaking their minds, are getting so much resistance from behind. Time we stop. Hey, what's that sound? Everybody look what's going down. What a field day for the heat. 1,000 people in the street, singing songs and a carrying signs. Mostly say hooray for our side. It's time we stop. Hey, what's that sound? Everybody look what's going down. Paranoia strikes deep into your life, it will creep. It starts when you're always afraid. Step out of line, the man come and take you away. We better stop. Hey, what's that sound? Everybody look what's going down. Stop. Hey, what's that sound? Everybody look what's going. We better stop now. What's that sound?